Right, here I'm going to do an unboxing now of the DeWalt DCV 582. Wet and dry vacuum, runs on 18 volt, 14.4 volt and mains electricity. Just had it delivered, so let's have a look inside and see what we get. Whilst trying not to cut my fingers off. With another how-to video, and today we're going to do a how-to on how to do a factory reset of the Fitbit Charge or Fitbit Charge HR. Fitbit Charge, one of these, if you've bought it second-hand or it's causing problems or you're changing PC or whatever, you might want to do a complete factory reset on it. So we're going to go through how to do that and the items we need. First of all, you need a USB power source. Hi, it's Mike, I'm back again, and this is another video. This time we're with the DeWalt DCS 391 circular trim saw from DeWalt. Okay, this DeWalt XR is part of the DeWalt 18 volt range. This is running currently with a 20 volt max lithium ion 4 amp hour battery. But you can quite easily use it with any of the other DeWalt XR range of batteries, 1.3 amp hour upwards. This is a 1.3.
Okay,
as you can see,
that camera alright,
powers it fine. A little bit underpowered, but for
so.
light wood jobs, absolutely fine.
Oh, okay.
If you're going for larger stuff like this, it's like a brown power pack. You can hear the difference.
Okay, I think that is live. Am I live? Is that me?
For this one,
I can't tell.
to 55
Yeah, it's me. Right, let's close these things down so I see what is going on. Sorry about that, a little bit of indulgence there. Just getting things ready. As per usual, completely unprepared and not a clue what is going on in the world. So, good evening. It is 3 minutes past 9 on Saturday the 13th of June 2020. Hopefully you're all doing well. And welcome to Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. I'm Mike. That's Kath over there. You can't see her, but she'll be chatting to you in the comment section if you want to send her a message. First of all, massive thanks to all of you guys and girls for supporting us over the last 3 years or so, however long it's been. We just hit this weekend 30,000 subscribers, which is yeah, pretty insane. Currently we're getting just shy of 1 million views a month, which is ridiculous. It's kind of, I'm not sure how that's happened, although we have done nearly 1,000 videos, so if you take that into consideration, I suppose it is one of those things that eventually is going to happen. If you put enough content out there, people are eventually going to watch it. But anyway, tonight's video, or tonight's stream rather, we're going to be talking about CCL a little bit. Going to get it off my chest because it's been something which has been bugging me for a little while now, and after speaking both publicly and privately to other Discord members, to people who chatted on the YouTube videos, etc, and just members of the public who I happened to bump into, well, obviously 2 meter distance, but there's a few people having issues with CCL, so we're going to go into some depth on that a little bit later. But first of all, let's say hello to some of you that are in the chat this evening. We got Ghost Adder, who's pipped Angry Doge just about to get in there first. So good evening, Ghost Adder. Good evening, Angry Doge. Got ClickTech Kev, Sky Stalkers in the house, Brabants, Mihu, Super Goofy Extreme says hello. Paul Bakewell says good evening from sunny Leicestershire. Found time today finally to finish his ASRock Mini ITX build. Nice one. Hope it's worked out well for you. Who else we've got in? Kath's in the chat, obviously. Aletta's in the house. Buntu Dreads says tuned in and can't wait to see Mike's take on this title. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Actually, I do want to hear both sides of the story. So my side is going to be primarily negative towards CCL. I do apologise for that in advance, but it's got to be said. I can't tell you lies it is what it is, and I've got the documentation to back it all up. So it's not like I'm just making this up with some sort of vendetta. It's actually real stuff which is happening to me. So bear that in mind. But equally, if you've had really, really positive experiences with CCL, I don't mean the usual stuff where you've ordered something and it's turned up. That's not over and above the Call of Duty. That is what's meant to happen. You pay for something, they put it in the post, it comes to you in one piece, you use it and it works. That is what is meant to happen. If you've got anything over and above that, where maybe you've ordered something and they've said it's out of stock and they've sent you something which is like worth loads more money or that kind of thing, that's the sort of things I want to hear about. I don't want to hear about, yes, I ordered something and it turned up, because who cares? That's what's meant to happen. But if you've ordered something conversely and it's either not turned up or it's been damaged, or the DPD driver's done a drop kick on it and thinks he's at, I don't know, some football stadium or rugby stadium, again, I want to hear about it. Matthew Day's in the house. Excuse me, Matthew Day's in the house, and he says, eating as usual. Why break away from the tradition? Only dessert left, a raisin swirl. Oh, lovely. Now, talking of desserts today, a good friend of the channel, David Aitken, and also a Discord member, come around today, dropped off a monitor which he's no longer using, which I'm going to be using for testing purposes, but also, amazingly, came around with some New York style cookies, which were absolutely fantastic. So David, I'm not sure if you're in the stream or if you're about, but if you're hearing this, they were awesome. Thank you very much. I had a massive, massive sugar rush. Yeah, I was off my Watsits.
George is massively fussy.
Yeah, and George, our really fussy eater son, said they were amazing. So yeah, kudos to you, and thank you very much for dropping that in. That was very, very good of you. Who else we got? Ricardo's in the house. He says, hi Mike and Kath, and hi everyone. Well, hi to you, Ricardo, and thanks to you for commenting on all the videos. I noticed your name popping up all the time. There's quite a few of you that come into these live streams, and we see your names quite frequently in the streams and in the videos, and both Kath and I genuinely so thankful. Can't even say it. We're so thankful for everything you do to help us out. Even if it's a video that you don't like or you've got no interest in, a lot of you just jump in, trying to support the channel, helping the algorithm, put a comment in there, stick a like on the video. It is brilliant, it really is, and we are so thankful to all of you that do it. Nigel Thomas says, evening all. Buntu Dread says, easy Kath, hope you and Mike are well. Yeah, we're not doing too bad. Had a little, tiny little bit of sunshine today, so that was quite enjoyable. And actually took the advantage of that and went outside today and actually shot some B-roll for an upcoming video, which is for the Sahara Gaming keyboard. Actually shot most of the B-roll of it in the sunshine out in the garden, which was awesome. Who else have we got? I think I'm pretty much, AKA Liam, words is hard tonight, says hello. And who else have we got? Ultra Game World says CCLonline is talking about. Yeah, that's CCLonline, that's who we're going to be referencing in a lot of this. That's if I can get my keyboard to work properly and I can actually click on the things I need to do. Alex says, congrats on 30k subs, thank you very much. And Rich Winrow says, I'm a mega fussy eater. Well, George is super fussy, but he loved them cookies. Richard Greenwood says, hi Mike, thanks so much again for all your help, stopping by to show support. Not had tea yet, so I need to go soon. Okay, no worries, thanks Richard. And Russell Walton says, have you seen the new Cooler Master mesh case? It's called the Cooler Master Masterbox TD500 Mesh. Yeah, I have actually, and I'm not entirely convinced by it. It's still quite expensive for what it is, and for me, the GameMax F15, I know I've said it before, the F15 ticks all the boxes that I need and comes in about £25–30 cheaper than the Cooler Master equivalent. But if you do have to have that brand on your case, then hey, go for it. If whoever floats your boat, get on board. Ben Shield says, hi guys. And Super Goofy says, thanks, congrats for the 30k subs. Did I say it already? Am I losing my mind already? Probably am. Okay, so that is most of the chat sorted out. So then, where should we start?
Mind your tea.
Mind my tea. Yeah, I should actually drink some of my tea first of all. Suspenseful tea drinking right there. And actually, do you guys mind if I just get undressed a little bit? Because it's pretty warm in here. Getting a little bit hot under the collar. Collar? Collar. Told you, words is hard. Are you okay if I just quickly get undressed a little bit? Is that okay? Well, I'm going to do it anyway. take my mic off because that could be embarrassing. Oh, and look at that. Click Tech. All the tech that's fit to click. Don't know if you even heard that, accidentally have my mic on. Let's tip my mic back on. Got a t-shirt from our good friend of the channel, Kev, from Click Tech, which used to be Click Tech UK. She's had a bit of a rebrand recently, so I'm still getting used to it. I'm old, so it takes a while to get used to these newfangled ideas. But Kev sent us a t-shirt, and thank you very much for that. And he said there's a little welcome note. Those of you that follow us on Twitter or Facebook or those kinds of things have probably seen the picture of it already. But there you go. And if you want to pick up a t-shirt for yourself, you can do from Kev directly. So if you see him in the chat, you can click on his name, go to his channel, all that kind of stuff. Or I think it's is it teesmail.com/clicktech, I think, possibly. Anyway, Kev can put some descriptions in and you can see what it's like. Kev's really struggling with the connection.
That's that new switch.
It's that new switch you reviewed, yeah. You shouldn't have gone for the Netgear one. Or D-Link or whatever it was. Should have gone with a Tender. Tender's where it's at, buddy.
It's a bit echoey. 2 mics are instead of 1.
Oh, have I? So, it might be that one. Let's unplug that one. 1, 2. Let's see what's happening here. There we go. Is that better? Is it working now? Can you hear me now? Hopefully that's a little bit better. Which Rimrose says disappointing strip. Yeah, got to keep it PG, otherwise yeah, I'll get a copyright strike. Okay, is the that better? Yeah, it's good now. Yeah, we're happy now. Yeah, stupid iPhone things. Rubbish. Okay, so let's have a look. What have we had in the mail this week before we get started slating CCL? So I talked about this already, I think. We had this come through from our friends at Noctua. This is the NHU12S, which we're still waiting for some bits to put this into a build, so that's going to be coming up very soon. But actually really excited to see what this is like. It's got 5 heat pipes on it, massive fans, massive cooling stack. It is quite expensive, so it's not the kind of thing normally that I would go for. But we reached out to Noctua and said, like, we're interested in what you do. Do you fancy sending us out a review sample? And they were amazing and said, yeah, what would you like? So rather than go for kind of like a really, really high-end one, which costs, well, hundreds of dollars, I went for this, which is kind of where I think most people would almost draw the line in the kind of mid-range section. So we'll be taking a look at that in the coming days or weeks, as soon as I can get some decent sort of platform together. And actually, what do you want to see? Oh, sorry, I thought you were moving. What do you actually want to see me testing with that? Do you want to see me do some overclocking against other similar type of coolers or water coolers? Are you more interested in noise? Are you interested in temperatures? Let me know. Let me know in the comments section either here or just PM me on Discord or whatever and just let me know what would you actually like to see me do with it. I want to know. Next one up is this little bad boy from DeWalt. You know me, I love my DeWalt stuff. I've done enough videos on the channel over the years, but this is really, really cool. Now the reason I got this is because with the shark glides, they're really actually quite difficult to install because you have to put the screws on from behind and it's really awkward to do. So this little cool ass kit here, it's got a tiny, tiny little ratchet. So you can put your extension bar in, put your PH2 or PH1 head in, and you can do up your fans from the inside. Normally it's really tight, and trying to get a screwdriver in, and sometimes when you're doing the inner connections or the inner bolts, it's really difficult even with a stubby screwdriver because your knuckles are dragging along the side of the case. So with this, nice little ratchet, happy days. And it's got all the connections on there, so you got your Torxes, you've got your PH heads, yeah, basically anything you want. It's a decent little kit. Not cheap, but really handy, especially with that little stubby little ratchet, which is excellent. So, anyway, just thought I'd show you that. Don't know why, really. Most of you are probably not interested in, like, what the hell is he doing? I ask myself that a lot. I really do. But you can pick those up for about £10–15. Quite a nice little kit. This one is a slightly more strange purchase, which some of you who are regulars to the channel will already know that I'm quite a big fan of ASRock and ASRock boards. And the B450 Pro 4 is one that I've actually bought before and reviewed. And actually, the video did really well. And Kath has actually still got this motherboard in her computer. She uses it every single day for doing her video editing and for social media stuff, games, all that kind of stuff. And it's been super, super reliable. So when I saw this on Amazon for £65, I couldn't not get another one. Now this was in the Amazon warehouse sale and normally retails around about £75, £80. Now, as we all know, B450 motherboards at the moment, the prices are going through the roof. They really are. And the kind of equivalent product to this, which would be really probably the Steel Legend board, maybe the Gigabyte B450 Gaming X, which I've got on the PC behind me. All of those are really creeping up towards that £100 mark, which for me, for a B450, is a little bit too much. Somewhere around about the £60 to £75 mark is where I'm pretty comfortable with. Even though we're in kind of COVID territory at the moment and the prices for everything are just like messed up, it still feels really weird buying a mid-range or low to mid-range board for more than like £70–80. So when I saw this, £64, I had to have it. And people ask me all the time, Mike, what is your opinion? What is the best B450 board to go for? And there are so many to choose from. And again, it always depends on what you want out of your board. Now for me, what I like is flexibility, easy to use, cheap, that's way up on the list, and just a nice reliable board. And for me, the B450 Pro 4 has always ticked every one of those boxes. You've got addressable RGB, you've got regular RGB, you've got a relatively plain board, so it fits in with most color schemes. You've got support for pretty much every AMD AM4 processor there is on the market currently. Obviously, the Ryzen 9s, you're going to struggle a little bit, especially if you're wanting to do any form of overclocking. Even precision boost overclocking is going to be a little bit lacking on this because of the relatively weak VRM. But having said that, for £65, £70, or even you buy a brand spanking new one for about £75, I still think this is genuinely the best option for pretty much most builds these days. But anyway, so I've got another one of those. I'm going to be doing another build. I did a review this week on the KZ10 from Ions, which is a super, super budget case, and it costs about £27. So I wanted to do a build in there which made sense. So I'm hardly going to buy a cheap ass case and then stick in an expensive motherboard, because that just doesn't work. And I don't want to go down the A320 route because those have started getting really expensive as well. So I figured, what can I get in the B450 range which actually makes sense? And I didn't want to buy this. I genuinely didn't want to buy it because I've had it before, and whenever I'm buying stuff, I'm always thinking I should be reviewing it as well, showing people new boards, new stuff, all that kind of thing. But realistically, there isn't anything else on the market at the moment that actually makes sense at that lower price point, apart from this. So that is my reasoning behind it. So you guys will be bored to death and seeing this again in action. I'm going to be pairing this up with a Ryzen 7 1700, probably 16 gigs of RAM, the Ions case, as I said, and also maybe an RX 580, possibly a 570, more than likely going to be a GTX 1650, but a modest system which is going to be happy to play AAA games at 60 frames per second without breaking too much of a sweat, unlike me. So that's going to be coming up. Hopefully, I've got some more things coming in the post from our lovely friends at Amazon. So hopefully, if they turn up, then we should potentially be doing this build tomorrow in a live stream. So 2 live streams this weekend. So keep an eye out in your subscription feeds. If you're not subscribed and you haven't clicked on the chime icon, go ahead and do that now. So if I do a live stream on this tomorrow and you want to have a laugh at me fumbling around like some kind of maniac, then yeah, you can join us tomorrow night for the stream.
As long as the parts turn up.
Yeah, as long as the parts turn up. So that is the B450 Pro 4. And I say it again, I love this board, I genuinely do. The Pro 4 and the Steel Legend, both of these boards for me are pretty much where it's at in terms of it just does most things for all people. Luckily this one's already been flashed to BIOS 3.60, which basically takes pretty much any processor, so no worries with that. I did notice on the front it's got the sticker put on the front, so, and it is actually a sticker, so this is an older board which has been flashed and updated. And I don't know why it was sent back to Amazon. I've actually fired it up last night, there was a couple of questions on the Discord last night, so I fired this up just to have a look in the menus and see what memory support it had and that kind of thing. So yeah, it seems to work fine. So I have bench tested it already. It does work, so just ready to do the build on it. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. Okay, next up. So this is actually something which I actually didn't want to review. I'll be completely honest with you, as I generally try to be. This is the Sahara R20. What can I say about it? First of all, I was petrified. No, actually, that's like lyrics from a song, isn't it? I will survive. Yeah, anyway, you get it. So this is from Sahara Gaming. This is the R20. Now this is a Otomu brown switch based keyboard. It's 10 keyless design, RGB, both on the hardware keys and also their software, which you can run on this. But I spoke to our friend at Sahara Gaming and kind of had a discussion about it, and they told me the price and said it's going to be about £55 in the UK. And straight away I'm thinking £55, that seems a lot for an Otomu switchboard. At the moment, obviously COVID prices, everything's gone a bit mad anyway, but there is a lot of competition for RGB keyboards, mechanical keyboards, and you can actually get, I did notice today, that one of my old favourites, the Rio Toro Ghostwriter Prism with the MX Brown switches, I just noticed, ironically, that CCL have started selling those today for £55. Now it's not a 10 keyless, so if you 10 keyless, sometimes you actually do pay a premium for the smaller keyboard, which personally I don't get. I don't understand that. I know there's the kind of the costings included with minimizing or making things smaller, but when it comes to a keyboard, just lopping off some buttons off the side, to me doesn't seem like it's one of those manufacturing processes which should cost more money. If anything, they're saving because you've got less keys being used, less PCB, a smaller chassis, smaller packaging even. So in theory, it should cost less, much like Micro ATX versus ATX. You know, you get where I'm coming from. So I was really hesitant about this, but actually going through this a little bit today, taking it out of the box, looking at the features, and one of the most important things I did notice on this, well, actually two things which I will actually highlight, which actually makes it seem like this is worth what it is. The legends on the keys, the actual font that the keys are stamped in, is so ridiculously clear compared with any other keyboard that I've used. That is actually a selling point straight off. The fact that you can actually read what it says on the keys. Now there's some keyboards, the GameMax Strike keyboard, the font on it for me is a little bit on the small side and a little bit muddled. So it's a great keyboard. I use it as my daily driver at the moment over on the video editing PC. Kath's PC, she's got the Microsoft keyboard, nice which font. Is okay. You can kind of see the font, it's quite clear. But these, I don't know what they've done. It's difficult to explain it, but when you see it on camera or we actually see it with the naked eye, the font on the keyboard is beautiful. It is so plain and easy to read. It's almost like looking at motorway signs. It's just like super visible even from a distance. So if you're slightly older and your eyesight is failing like it does with some of those older gamers, then this is actually a really good idea because the font is beautiful. It really is a beautiful font. The second thing that I noticed on here, which actually makes it, in my mind, worth every penny, is the fact you can change the keycaps, which isn't unusual, but the actual switches themselves can be swapped out easily. So these are hot swappable switches. You can pop them out, change them very, very easily. There's a lot of boards on the market. Now, the Rio Toro one that I mentioned just now, that is a typical one where it's got the MX Brown switches, which are fantastic, but they're soldered. So if you do have to change a switch or you want to change switches, you have to get your soldering iron out. You have to start desoldering, resoldering. It's a messy business. At least with this, you get a keycap puller and you get a switch puller included in the packaging, which is awesome. I really do like that. And that is what has actually elevated this for me to make it worth that money. Now, whether it's going to stay at the £55 or whether it's going to drop a little, I'm hoping it will drop a little because I think then they will sell an absolute ton of these things. And I'm certainly hoping that sooner or later they bring out a companion mouse for this to go with it as well. Which, for me, I'm one of those people, you know, I haven't seen it. It's one of those things, I really do enjoy using a companion set, like a Microsoft keyboard and mouse, a Logitech keyboard and mouse. On my desk up there, I've got the GameMax keyboard and mouse. I do like to keep paired things together. For me, I don't know, it's just one of those things, and maybe you guys do, maybe you don't, I don't know. But for me, I would love to see a companion mouse to go with this, a really nice gaming mouse. Sahara is one of those kind of, people have the perception of it being one of those kind of cheaper brands, but generally the quality is pretty spot on. They're custom fans on the cases. I'm not a great fan of, excuse the pun. I would prefer to see them using standard connections rather than proprietary stuff, but they're pretty good. So anyway, we'll be doing an in-depth look at that so we can see what it's like. And yeah, spoiler alert, I like it already. So maybe you don't want to watch the video, just go and buy one straight away. And if you do buy it from our Amazon affiliate links and we get a little bit of a kickback. So I think that is pretty much it for what we've had in this week. What's that?
Just go through the questions a bit.
Okay, Kath says look at the questions. So let's have a look at some of the...
Just catch up. I don't think there's anything.
I've just noticed one straight away. Aletta, keyboards are like bikinis. The less material, the more it costs. Personally, I've never bought one, so I couldn't tell you. But, Kath, is that a thing? You've not worn one. Have you bought one ever?
Yeah, I've got loads.
Okay. I'm just joking. She wears them in the garden all the time. Okay.
I believe you accept that.
Richard Greenwood says, I missed the memo. What's Mike up to tonight? Same as usual, just rambling on like some kind of lunatic. James Davis says, I got the fan, it's great for me. Paid a little more to go with the black fan. That's obviously in relation to the Noctua, so that's awesome. Russell says, test the Noctua against the Arctic Freezer 2. Now that is definitely one thing I will be doing. My initial kind of plans were to test that against the Fractal S320? S36, completely wrong. The Celsius S36, that's a 320mm, no, 360mm. What am I on? I really must stop sniffing glue before streams. I'll be doing the NHU12S versus the Freezer 2, definitely against the Freezer 34, the S36, and well, if there's any other special requests, we'll see it doing those as well. But yeah, that's the kind of levels I'm looking at. I'm not going to obviously test it against things like the UX100, or I suppose the Contact 12 is probably out of the question as well, because that is quite a budget cooler. GameMax 400, Evo 212, those are more kind of slightly more budget and less powerful coolers, so I probably won't be looking towards those, but certainly the mid to higher range and obviously water coolers are going to be definitely something to look at. David Aitken says, evening Mike and Kath, little late joining today, t-shirt fits perfectly. Awesome. I like this one from Kev because I've got a little bit of COVID spread going on, as some of us have, and yeah, I'm gonna have to start eating salads all the time.
But you did have a salad.
But this doesn't fit too bad, does it? And obviously, if you want to wear one of these fantastic t-shirts yourself, check out Kev's channel and you can find out all the details there. And likewise, if you want to get one of our Mike's Unboxing t-shirts, feel free to do the same. If you want to get one, you can subscribe to us via Patreon, and Patreon members who pledge $10 or more, I have to think about it then, because we've got some other schemes going on at the moment, $10 or more and we'll send you a t-shirt. Happy days. Aletta says, I love toolkits. I have a lot of them. I think that's a lot of them. Or not many of them. I don't know, not sure. One of the two. Yeah, I do love my DeWalt stuff. I've got a DeWalt drill, I've got a DeWalt impact driver, I've got my weed whacker for when calf's pubes need trimming. I've also got I've got the circular saw. What else have I got?
Eye wax.
I've got the oscillating tool as well. I've got a Makita drill bit set. Ooh.
I'll focus.
Makita. It's a bit of a thing in the trade. It's kind of like you're either a DeWalt man or you're a Makita man, or if you're kind of right scraping the barrel, then maybe you're in kind of like Bosch or something. Ultra Game Roll says, yeah, I have the B450M motherboard. It's a great board. Rock on. Alessa says the X570 is the way to go. It is, but they are the prices on those now are just running away crazily. I'm really getting to the point where I'm actually really despondent about the whole PC industry. B550 boards are really expensive. The B460 boards for Intel, are expensive, and the X or Z 490s even are even more expensive, and most of them are junk. So it's like, what is going on? The market has gone crazy. We've got these great processors on the market, but very little options of what to actually stick them into. Lawless Gaming says, I'm sick of things I order online saying shipped for 12 days before the postal service gives it any update. Yeah, and if you use AliExpress or Alibaba or Wish.com, yeah, you're taking your life in your own hands with the postage on those, you really are. Ultra Game World says the MSI B450 Pro VDH Max motherboard is great, around the same price. Yeah, that is one of actually, we've reviewed that as well, and we can, I think, the Pro VDH. I'm sure we have at some point. Yeah, I think I bought that and I realised after that it didn't have a VGA port or something. And I was like, ah.
Is that one of your first vloggy things?
Yeah, that was one of my first ones.
That's worth watching.
Paul Bakewell says, I used the B450 ASRock motherboard today. So that would have been the Fatality ACI X thing, which I had before. It's a great board. Supernova Wolf says, sorry I'm late everyone. Never mind, it's fine. Do write 100 lines. I will not be late for Mike's unboxing in the future. Angry Doge says the keyboard looks okay. Thanks, Doge. Supernova Wolf says, Angry Doge, yeah, doesn't look that bad. John Moore says, hi all. Ultra Game World says, £55 is way overpriced for that keyboard. I got a mechanical TechNet keyboard for £30. It's really good too. Yeah, that was my concern when I was looking into it. I'll be completely honest with you. I did say to our contact, like, £55, you sure? That seems a little bit pricey. But again, having a look at it, it does have the feature set. The RGB lighting is really nice. Keycaps are fantastic, which, to be honest with you, if it's one of those things where you're going to be using all the time and it's going to be your main kind of interface between yourself and the computer and your game control and all that sort of stuff, legibility is massively important. There's nothing worse than an RGB keyboard where you're kind of looking at it and you're like, whoa, I don't know where the keys are. I cannot work out anything. You're either blinded by it or the caps look awful. They don't shine through very nicely. But even on the box, this looks good. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, I think. Angry Doge says Supernova Wolf, at Supernova Wolf and Ghost Adder has the A-Jazz, which he really likes. It is £55, I believe. It seems to be that that price point, doesn't it? Mihu says, I'm using a Cherry MC2000 bundle. I do like a good Cherry keyboard. ClickTech says, so where was I? Oh yeah, nice t-shirt. Glad you like it. It's yours after all. Paul Baker says, Wish, 3/4 of my last orders never turned up, which is ironic because 3/4 of the 3/4 of the items I've purchased from CCL have been either faulty or damaged. So yeah, let's get into that in a minute. David Aitken says, ClickTech Virgin has been terrible lately. It has been getting worse. Linda says, is that poor Wi-Fi service? Yeah, the Virgin Media routers, the Wi-Fi on them is pretty horrendous. Definitely worth upgrading to a Tenda system or something like that. I did, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Yes, it's broken until 1 AM.
Is it?
Apparently, according to Virgin.
Oh, that sucks.
According to Telewest.
King of Kife says, oh, mechanical keyboards. I ordered a GK61 from Banggood for 38. Seems to have good reviews. Also, yeah, I've seen, what's the other one? There's another one. There's a couple of particular types of keyboard, which a lot of the, I want to say Chinese brands, but I don't think they necessarily are. But basically, a lot of these brands who buy in a board and then put their own decals on it, logos, etc. There's one, I think, it might actually be that one. It might be the GK61. There's quite a few which are all very, very similar, all around about the similar sort of price point. I'm pretty sure TechNet do one. I think it's the Red Dragon. They do one as well. And basically everyone, well, not everyone, but there's a very, very big product stack where they're all exactly the same, just with different branding on them. ClickTech says, I bought a latex Black Panther mask from Wish. It took ages, but good for blocking human malware. I get a few funny looks in Asda. I bet you do. I bet you do.
Anonymously with that t-shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah, you should walk around with your t-shirt on. They'll know who you are then. They go, ah, yes, Kev. Yeah, we understand completely. ClickTech says, I had a quick look at my R20. Looks nice and decent. Now, the funny thing is with the R20, if you do a search on Google or YouTube for Sahara R20, obviously quite a few Sahara videos pop up that I may have been a part of, but also there's something to do with certain types of tyres on off-road trucks. It's littered with those kind of things, so maybe the R20 branding might not have been the best idea. Ricardo says, I have a question. Okay. King of Kife says, yep, I ordered a motherboard from CCL and it was missing all the accessories. They also never honoured one of my orders. Yeah, I get it. Ricardo, oh, I have a ViewSonic VA2261H-2 monitor and sometimes it flicks. There's a little white jump. Should I call for warranty? Yes, definitely. 100%. ViewSonic are pretty good with warranties actually, so you should get that replaced. King of Kife says, also Mike, have you reviewed the MSI Mag 100M? I haven't, no. They are, I think that's the one they're updating, or is that the updated one? I do want to have a look at those actually.
It's 50 on Amazon.
Now 50 on Amazon. What's that, the keyboard? Okay.
I love Wish. I get everything I've ordered from them
Yeah.
so far. But then I forget what I've ordered, so maybe I don't.
Bunty Dread says, my recent issues with CCL is price hikes or taking a week or more to receive orders, which is understandable in the current climate. Still been good overall in the last 3 months and I bought a fair bit. Okay, well that's the sort of thing I want to hear. People that have had acceptable experiences, because I want to know if it's just me. I don't think it is, because there's other people who've got issues or potential issues. Yeah, actually let's go on to the CCL thing now. So okay, let's start with this. So I first started buying things from CCL relatively recently, which I think was probably October 2018, if I remember rightly, at least on my current account that I've been using with them. It's not a credit account or a trade account or anything, it's just a normal individual, just Mike's Unboxing email, that sort of thing. And the first thing I bought was the Gigabyte AX370 motherboard, which we did a review ages ago on. And actually a good little board, and it was one of those things where it was, actually just to backtrack a little bit, so I'm a daily user of Hot UK Deals here in the UK, which is a really, really good resource for finding bargains. And generally, if I find something really good in there, or if any of the guys on the Discord find anything, they post it into the Discord, into the bargains section, so everyone can check it out. Now there was one day where I went on and CCL were doing the AX370 motherboard, which is basically an X370 chipset motherboard, for like £20 or something, £25 I think it was. It was a ridiculous amount of money for a AMD motherboard at the time, even though it was a not a high-end board by any means, but it was an X370 chipset, which has always got some value attached to it. So I bought it and did the review on it and used it for a little bit, and everything seemed okay. But very, very quickly things went a little bit wrong with the board, and it was doing weird stuff, wouldn't boot and all that kind of stuff. So we got to the point where I made a video on how to return a motherboard, which again made some more money out of that motherboard. Actually, that motherboard has probably made me more money than any other product I've had, because of the amount of views I had on the original unboxing and then the returning of it. So yeah, it was worked out all right in the end. But so that was my first product. So had it and it went wrong very quickly, which wasn't brilliant, but it was one of those things, it happens. Also, when I bought it, there was a special offer attached to that particular offer, which they often do. So if you bought it, then you got some Steam vouchers free. So I thought, awesome, Steam vouchers to the value of about £20 plus the motherboard, super cheap. It's a win-win situation. Now I'll quickly stop there because John Walsh has given us a £2 super chat, and he says, sorry, I was a bit late, got an RTX 2070 Trio from CCL. Now if you're wondering why the light's going off, if you do a super chat during the live streams, then it triggers the disco ball. Kath has to get up, turn the lights off, all the kind of usual stuff. And it's just,
diet, so it's
yeah, Kath's actually on a keto diet at the moment. She's trying to lose some weight, so keep on making those super chats roll in, and we'll soon burn some of that flab off our ass. So moving on. Anyway, oh, Glenn says evening all as well. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, there was an offer of Steam vouchers as well. Now, there was some small print in there, which, to be completely honest with you, I didn't read, because it was kind of like, right, that's cheap, cheerful, you get the Steam vouchers, awesome, I'll get it done. What I didn't realise is that in order to get the Steam vouchers, there was a very, very limited supply on a first come, first served basis. So when I actually, after I'm doing the unboxing video and done the build, etc., and I got round to actually going back onto the site to try and redeem my vouchers or to obtain my vouchers, they said you should look at the small print. So I went back, looked at the small print, and it said there's a very limited amount available. Now, when I see things like that, it always makes me wonder if it's some kind of bait and switch thing where they say, oh yeah, we got all these great keys, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And then there's probably only about 5 of them available, or whatever the amount is, a very, very minimal amount. Like a lot of companies do when they have a special offer, they say, yeah, we're doing a TV for $99, and you go to the store or whatever, and they say, well, yeah, we only had 3 across the whole country. So unfortunately, we've only got these at £300 or $300. So it's that kind of bait and switch thing, which it really does piss me off. So I put it down to my own mistake. I should have read the thing, and I should have got in quicker to try and redeem those keys. Yeah, it did have it said it had a 30-day limit, so I was kind of within the 30-day limit. I didn't expect for them to sell out. You normally expect for them to have kind of the same amount of keys as they do motherboards, or very close to it, so that everyone gets what they're kind of entitled to, or you'd hope that was the case for most companies. So that was the first one. Then, actually, I'm going to have to look at my notes a minute, just to make sure that I'm getting the right information here, because I don't want to say anything which is incorrect or untrue.
Happened to Ken Kife as well.
So I'm just, just reading here. So yeah, the Gigabyte AX370M motherboard, DS3H, socket A motherboard, and that is my, yeah, that's what it was. The board itself was $47.99. The shipping was $4.99, but then you got £30 worth of Steam vouchers. So that brought it down to kind of like £30 for a motherboard, which for me is totally fine. And I wanted the Steam vouchers, so that is why I did it. So to not get the vouchers was a real kick in the whatsits. So I didn't like that. So that was that. So the next one is the, what did I buy next? I'm going to have to look at my purchase history a minute. Bear with me. So the next one was okay. The next one, well, so far, touch wood, the next purchase was the Gigabyte Gaming X motherboard, B450, which is actually running in that PC behind me at the moment. So touch something lucky quick. That is still working at the moment and hasn't been a problem. So that's all good. Happy days with that. So the next one was the GameX, the F15 case. And this is where it gets a little bit more kind of, interesting in some respects. So let me see, where can I see? So yes, my GameX F15 I bought for £75, which was $65.99 plus $8.99 for DPD next day packaging. I should have known better when it said DPD, to be completely honest with you, because DPD don't have the best reputation, especially in our local area. I bought that on the 15th of April this year, 2020, and I think I did the review on it kind of next day or something. Now, what actually happened when that case came through, it was damaged on the front. So the front panel was off the case, the inner packaging was cracked, and one of the fans, 200mm fans, actually was off of the spindle. So what happens when you take a fan off the spindle, sometimes you're okay, but with the fans that are in this GameX case, there is a fluid bearing. There's 2 seals, inner and outer seal, and in the middle there's like a fluid bearing. Now, if the fan blade comes off, this fluid comes out, and then if you put it back on, it will work. It's not great, but it will work, and it just means the fan will prematurely fail. Sometimes you'll get that kind of fan wobble, where if you look at it, you can see it shimmering. If you look closely at the video I did, you'll actually see the bottom fan is shimmering a little bit. Shimmering. So you can see that actually in the video. It does affect the noise very, very slightly at certain times where it goes slightly off axis, which is a little bit annoying. But I thought to myself, ultimately, at the end of the day, hopefully people will get this in a better condition than I did, so I'm going to plod on with the review, and I won't make a thing of it. It's not a massive issue. What I'll do is I'll reach out to CCL. I won't go for a refund because that's a bit petty for a fan, but what I will do is I'll email them and say, look, I've received this, it's come through, it's damaged in transit. Is there any way you can possibly get in touch with GameMax, or if you've got stock, can you send me a replacement fan? Now, I've worked in the PC shops before, I've worked in retail, and I know how it works. So quite often you get things returned to you, and you've got a stack of stuff in your storeroom, and if someone phones up and says, oh, I've got this case, or I've got whatever it is, and if it's something which has got multiple bits, they say, oh, my fan's broken, or the side panel's cracked, or whatever. Generally what you'll do is, if you've got one out the back already, you'll take a side panel off, or you'll take a fan out, stick it in the post, send it to the customer. When you get theirs back, you stick that one in the other case, and you just send back a completely knackered case because all the bits are broken on it. That way you don't have to worry about refunding and having a stack of cases all being refunded for the same thing. That's generally how it works. So I emailed them, I spoke to the CCL's department, and just bring up the email of that. Fan replacement email, here we are. So what screen do I want now? Windows desktop. So number 3. So hopefully you guys can see that now. So this was an email that I've got from Bradley Michelle from the returns department at CCLonline, and hopefully, I'm not sure if you can see that particularly well, but I'll read it out for you anyway. It says, good morning, Mike. Thank you for your email. I hope you're well. Please can you provide an order number, and I will email our distributor to see if I can source a replacement fan for you. To get this item to you as quickly as possible, please can you confirm the delivery address for the fans? Thanks. Now, I did actually put in the email originally what my ticket number, my customer details, all that kind of stuff. So they kind of had that stuff anyway, but I thought, well, I'll do that anyway. I'll send them the email address. So hopefully you guys can see that. You'll probably notice if you zoom in a little bit that I have actually copied in myself, mikesunboxing.com, Josh McNicholas at A1 Distribution, which A1 Distribution, for those of you who don't know, are the ones who basically distribute GameMax within the UK. So I thought that was a good idea. We'd go ahead and do that. So, number 2. So going back to what else has happened. So we'll close that one down. And where are we? Oh, we've got another super chat. Let's have a quick look at that before we go into the next email. And there we go. That's from ClickTech Kev, who says, there's £1 for each 10k. Thank you, Kev. We appreciate that. We appreciate a t-shirt as well. And also, when this whole lockdown is over and you come down, we're going to go out for a beer, and some of the locals around there, David, I think, as well, a couple of others, we'll all go out and have a bit of a meet and greet. And Skystalker's in the house as well, and he says 10 Canadian dollars. He says, I like the disco ball too. And so does Kath, because it's good exercise. Thank you, Skystalker, and thank you, ClickTech. It seems weird calling you ClickTech. I want to call you Kev. ClickTech. Anyway. Ghost Hunter says, wow, 30k already. I remember when we were talking about 24k. Yeah, I know. It's gone very, very quick. Right, okay, so let's get back to the emails in a moment. Thank you very much for the super chats. And Windows Desktop, I should know the keys for this now. So hopefully you guys can see that. So I then replied to the email, giving my details, information, all that stuff, and saying thank you. So we had another email now back from Nicholas Spence, again from returns@cclonline.com, and read my order number. Good evening, thank you for providing that. I will pass this on to my colleague, kind regards. So at this point, you kind of think to yourself, okay.
You're posing for the camera.
Yeah, I am posing for the camera, and the camera's not even on. What an absolute tosser. So at this point, you think to yourself, okay, you've made your point. You haven't demanded a refund. You haven't jumped up and down. You just politely said, like, is it all right? Can you try and source me another fan for this? It's not the end of the world, but I would really appreciate it if you could do it. Now at this point, I've had one problem with CCL previously, which was the motherboard. That didn't work out as intended, so a little bit bitter at that point. But moving on from that, I got the other motherboard, the Gigabyte one behind me. That's been okay. So you kind of put it at that point, it's like, well, these things happen. It's a strange world we live in. These things will pop up every now and then. So at this point now, this is, what was it, sometime in April. So we're kind of getting into proper COVID territory now. Things are locked down, things aren't going particularly well. The country is a little bit scary. So I kind of left it and I didn't think much about it. I thought, well, they'll get back to me sooner or later. Ultimately, the case still works. I'm using it. It's not the end of the world. I'm not waiting for a customer build or anything like that. So it's my own personal stuff. It is what it is. Worst case scenario, I've got a pretty good working relationship with GameMax. Ultimately, I can get through to them and say, look, can you help me out? So yeah, not the end of the world. So moving on, then we go through to a little bit closer, which was the X570A, X570-A Pro from MSI, which I'll show you on the screen now, just so you know I'm not making this up. So as you can see, hopefully you can. So here we are. There's our order number. This was order placed on the 16th of April, so very quickly after the case. And £150 spent on the motherboard, well, 142.34, and DPD Express next day, £6.95, which again is neither here nor there. So yeah, that's been dispatched, no problem, all done. Now, caveat: this was an open box motherboard, so potentially there is going to be an issue with it because it's an open box. Someone's already returned it once already. You never know what's going to happen to it, so you kind of have to take a little bit of a leap of faith there. So that was that one. So got the motherboard, did the unboxing, did the review, or the overview more so rather than a review, because we didn't get as far as doing a review. I did talk about it in the stream and we looked through the board and all the reasons why you shouldn't buy it or reasons you should buy it, because it's the cheapest X570, etc, etc.
Is that the one with the plastic VRM things?
I think it might have been, yeah.
I think we did do a review.
But anyway, we did it and we couldn't do the review because it wouldn't boot up. Put a processor on it, didn't do anything. Tried a couple of processors, didn't do anything. Various memory configurations, even tried to flash the BIOS because it was one of those boards where you could flash the BIOS. And yeah, nothing at all. It was completely DOA. So got in contact with them again. I'm thinking, this is just really, really bad luck. This is the last thing now. So went through the process and did the returns thing. They sent us out one of those postage paid labels. That was one of the things which actually I wasn't a great fan of. So the postage paid label they sent was just a generic tracking one from Royal Mail. So there wasn't any insurance on it. It was very difficult to track. So I'm at the point now where I'm sending a £150 worth of motherboard back to a company during COVID times where things are going missing, and I'm sending a motherboard in the post with no real reassurance that it might get there. So again, that was another leap of faith. You'd have thought that, being who they are, CCL, they're quite a big company, you'd have thought they'd have paid the extra to make sure that it was fully tracked and registered and all that kind of stuff, to protect me more than anything, or to at least offer me the option of doing that, which they didn't. They just sent me this label, stick this on. If you don't send this label with this RMA label on, it will be rejected. So there wasn't any real chance of it happening, which again is quite a worrying thing. So let's have a look now. So the next one is they received the board. So let's go back to the desktop. So number 3, sorry, I am such a noob. So there we go, CCL returns department, returns at CCLonline.com. So CCL RMA, blah, 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 complete. We have completed processing the following items that were returned on RMA, blah, 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 blah. Please contact us if you have any queries. So you can see the motherboard's gone back and it says in this bottom corner, action taken, item credited back to original card on credit note M217, blah, blah, blah. Please note that it can take up to 14 days for the funds to show as cleared in your account. So this is, yeah, that is pretty normal. That's the sort of thing you expect to see. It would have been nice if it had gone through straight away, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So that was dated, I didn't even see when it was dated actually, but basically when it was dated, there was, I think it was, yeah, after the 2 weeks, I think on the 13th or 14th day after receiving that email, I thought I'd better check it because our credit card statements come through like on a monthly cycle.
just missed
So we just missed one, I think, and we're waiting for the next one. I didn't want to leave it another 2 weeks to see if it would come through. So I was kind of like expecting to see it. We couldn't see it in our PayPal account because we did pay for it via PayPal, but it was PayPal that took the money from our credit card account, if you kind of get where I'm coming from. So we went through all that, and essentially, yeah, it didn't show up. Sorry, right, okay. So next up, emailed them a couple of times, we'll raise a support ticket, and I did ask them if I could actually speak to someone. They said, unfortunately, we can't speak to anyone, and this is the transcript, so I'll quickly put that on the screen for you now. So as you can see on the transcript, so there's basically all the references. I was chasing up a return motherboard, saying it was 13 to 14 days. Now this was after about a month, so this is June the 11th. So yeah, best part of a month at this point. And I said during the call to Johnny, I said, is there a phone number I can call to get this sorted out? Because they said that they couldn't sort it out because the only things that they have going on is basically support calls on the general site, which normally is a little bit of a warning sign. As soon as a company shuts down its customer service department to some extent, or shuts down its incoming telephone lines, it's either for one of two reasons. Either they've got creditors or companies banging on their door and calling them up saying, you haven't paid for this, please can you settle your accounts? Or you've got a lot of disgruntled customers who are clogging out your phone lines, repeatedly calling you, trying to get their money back or trying to get something sorted out. So when Johnny says, and I quote here, at 24 minutes past 4, Johnny says, I'm sorry, but at the moment we have switched off CCL incoming telephone lines so that we can concentrate on replying to tickets in a timely fashion and assist you in live chat. The phones are likely to be off for the next 2 weeks. So at this point, I'm kind of like a month out of the refund time. Essentially, there's nobody who can deal with my problem. I cannot speak to the accounts team because there's no telephones, and the support people are basically intercepting all incoming communications. So effectively, you are kind of ring-fenced. You can't get into them at all. You can't speak to anyone that can actually do anything. You can't get anything done. All you can do is raise a support ticket. Okay. Now, currently at this point, I've got, I think at least the best part of 4, maybe 5 support tickets. I've also raised another support ticket today. Because of how disgruntled I was, I decided that I'm going to go for a refund on the F15 case, just basically to prove a point. But also, I'm a little bit concerned that if I have to send it back, that I'm not going to get a refund on that either. Because either they're in a financial position where they're not able to refund it because they haven't got any money, and that does happen. Companies do go bankrupt. I'm not saying that is the case, so obviously that is my opinion, and I do not know this for a fact or for anything like that. But I have worked in retail before, and I know that when things get tough, refunds and credits and stuff like that are the things that generally end up going bad to begin with. They've got stock, they can send stock out, but if there's a problem with the stock and they need to refund it, that is when things get into a difficult situation. Now again, I appreciate this is COVID times. A lot of their workforce are probably being furloughed, but having said that, they're still managing to have enough staff in their warehouse to ship out goods, to take your money, to man these answering, the live support things. So if they turn and say, well, we've got no one in the accounts department, or there's no one available to process your refunds, to me that stinks of BS. And again, if they've got people in the warehouse, they've got people on the live chat, they've got people taking in deliveries or sending out deliveries. It's a big company. They should have at least 1 or 2 people dealing with refunds, and it doesn't take
2 months.
Well, best part of 2 months now to process a refund, especially when most of those systems these days tend to be automated. They've raised a credit note on their system, as we saw with the credit note number that has been raised, so that should have been put through the system. Now, I have also given them the benefit of the doubt that maybe their emails have gone into my spam folder, which I have checked, and there doesn't seem to be any there. And also, obviously, I have received emails from the returns at CCLonline.com, so those are certainly ways they can get in contact with me. Also, because of the way CCL works, when you sign up, they do request both a landline number and a mobile phone number if possible, both of which they've got on the system. So if there is a problem, or maybe they've got something wrong with maybe my card details or my PayPal account or whatever the case may be, there are telephone numbers there. They could pick up a phone. They haven't, as far as I know, stopped outgoing calls, so they could pick up the phone and say, sorry, Mr. Churchill, we appear to have effed up badly. How can we remedy this? But again, we don't. We just get more and more support tickets and less help and more frustrated. So that is pretty much where I'm at. And I did notice today, actually, there was on their website, well, sorry, actually, they pinned a tweet onto Twitter, because that's where you pin tweets. And I'll show you that now. And they've got there, so there's a service update, pin tweet, CCL Computers at CCL Computers. This is on June the 11th. Some non-essential shops will be allowed to reopen on June 15th. Please note that our showroom will remain temporarily closed for sales and returns until further notice. We are still delivering online orders. Keep safe. Now again, this is one of those things where I look at it and I think to myself, right, they've got a showroom. That again is primarily for people local to the Bradford area where they're based. If you've got an issue with a product and you can't get through on a telephone, the only other option is to visit them in person, which for them to have their showroom closed,
Paying rent still?
they're still paying rent on that. There's still people behind the showroom actually sending out deliveries and all that kind of thing. If they were customer service orientated, in my opinion, they could quite easily, there's a double door at the front, they could open up the double doors, have some barrier there, a piece of perspex, whatever it is, even a bit of cling film if need be, but they could have somebody there manning the front door, accepting returns and customer collections. It's in their best interest. Ultimately, they are a retailer and they are there to sell things and also to help customers. So at the moment, I honestly don't know what's going on. There's been a lot of people who, again, have said to me they've got issues, they've received stuff which has been damaged or doesn't work. I don't want to think that CCL are in financial difficulty, because there's not many companies in the UK now which are actually selling components, and generally their prices are quite keen. So it would be really disheartening for me to think personally that they are about to go tits up. Also, more so because they've still got 150 quid of my money, which makes it even worse. And potentially I need to send back my case, or at least get that rectified. So it puts me in an awkward position. As someone who does unboxing and reviews, I need to buy stuff, essentially. So at the moment I'm limited to Amazon, eBuyer, Aria, awd.it, and a few others. Overclockers, possibly. It is becoming a diminishing field of where you can actually buy stuff from. So to lose my faith in CCL the way I have, yeah, I'm generally disappointed. I've had one experience out of the 4 which has actually gone okay. I suppose the return that has been refunded for the AX370, that's, yeah, it's not the end of the world. That is one of those things that happen. But the last 2, the case, again, I've had 2 or 3 emails all about this case. Yeah, sure, we'll help you out, and then nothing, complete dead end. So if they're giving lip service, fine, it happens. I know companies do that. But again, just disappointing. I liked CCL's ethos. I like their site. I like their design. Their shipping has been pretty good, relatively fast, not excessively fast, but certainly usable. And again, being in the UK, there isn't a massive amount of companies you can buy from. So yeah, it's disappointing. I am disappointed. And if anyone from CCL is watching now, or listening, or watches this in the future, mike@mikesunboxing.com. Just get in contact with me, let me know what's going on, officially or unofficially, I don't care either way. Just let me know what's going on. If there is problems at the mill, let me know, it's fine, I can wait, I'm not in a hurry. But I just want some kind of communication. That's all it takes. Retail, business world, whatever it is all about communication. This channel has been built up pretty much from scratch based on communication. Now pretty much every comment made on any of our videos, whether it's one I made the day one or whether it's one I made yesterday, generally if I can and I've got the time and I find the question and it's not buried in like a labyrinth of other questions, then most of you know this already, that's probably why you're here. I will answer that question. It might take me a little while, but I'll eventually get around to answering it. Or you'll get an answer straight away. That is what I believe business, relationships, customer relationships, that's what it's all about. Just communicating. Even if I don't know the answer to a question, if you send me a question and say, Mike, how do I do this on my Samsung S8? I'll reply, I'll say, look, I'm sorry, hands up, I don't know how to do it. I don't have that phone, I can't try it. I'm really sorry, but I thought I'd reply to you anyway just to say hello and I apologise, that sort of thing. It's the things like that which go a long way. And I personally believe that's how we've managed to grow the channel as quickly as we have, based on all the competition out there. So that is what we do, and that is what I expect from other companies. And the fact that they haven't done it, yeah, pisses me off a little bit, I've got to be honest with you. So anyway, that is that out of the way. So that is my thoughts on CCL. I thought I'd show some of the documentation in this video, purely so you know I'm not making it up and doing it as some kind of like, oh, Mike's picking on CCL or whatever it is. There is...
It's okay.
Oh,
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. There is actually a reason why I'm saying this and why I'm trying to get the message out there. And really, I suppose, ultimately, I'm just frustrated and I'm trying to get a response from CCL. That is ultimately all I want. So, anyway, there you go. That is... that's me put to rest. I can now die a happy man knowing that I got that off my chest. So I'm going to have a quick look through the comment section now and see what you guys have been thinking whilst I've been ranting. Where is it? Mihu says, Mike, do you have a Discord, by the way? Have I mentioned it? I might have.
I have put the link in. Just
Yeah, Cap's put a link in. What else have we got? So, Glenn's mentioned ALZA or alza.co.uk and Aria. Yeah, those are good choices as well. AliExpress, lol. Yeah, AW-IT is another. Angel Churchill says hello. Hello, baby daughter. King McKife says most of the places don't have competitive prices. There is that to it. That is, yeah, that is. Yes, please, yeah. Actually, shall I treat myself to a beer?
Do you want a beer?
We have got 30k subs, so I think I should. What do you think, guys and girls? Think I should have a beer? I think I should have a beer.
Susie,
Uh,
what are you doing?
King of Kive says CCL claim to test their products. I just received an open box mobile from them.
Yeah, it's not
I'm having second thoughts now. Yeah, that is the thing. It's a worrying thing when you. I think I'm not sure whether it's because I've been spoilt by Amazon. Amazon customer service is legendary. It genuinely is. Over the last 3 years of anything I've bought from Amazon, if I've had a problem with it, I've sent it back. I've got a refund. Pretty much, I don't think. Is there any? No, that's right. Thanks. Yeah, has there been any Amazon product that we haven't had a refund for, or was anything that's gone wrong with that has been like an issue? Or like a major hassle, or anything, was there? Unless it was like a third-party Amazon seller.
But that was like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, we have definitely been spoiled by Amazon, and I think
we order a lot.
Yeah, we do order a lot. We've been spoiled by them. We generally have, and I think that is a problem because now we're used to that level of service and the reliability of it, and the kind of Amazon are in a position where they're financially. You can order something, if it doesn't turn up, you can tell them and they'll just send the money back. They don't even care. They're just like, we're not going to investigate it. We're not going to check it with the delivery driver. Just, there's your money. How do you want it? Do you want a credit note? Do you want an Amazon voucher? Do you want it back to your original payment method? Tell us what you want. We'll do it for you. Hey, we'll even give you a £5 voucher off your next shop. They're that good. So when you get like buttheads like CCL, who are just like, oh yeah, that's no problem. We'll sort it out for you. Put the phone down, or delete the email, or clock off, leave it to the next person who comes on shift, and the next person comes on shift and is like, I ain't got time to deal with that. And you just get buried into something. It's rubbish. It generally is rubbish. And that is a good thing again with Amazon. If you buy stuff from Amazon, you speak to their first level customer support. If it's something that they can't deal with, they'll elevate you up to the right department or to another technical department, especially for PC stuff. They're brilliant for that. And also returns wise, generally they've got the ability to do it. If not, they'll say, sorry, I'm just going to speak to my manager and see what we can do. And they get it sorted. So that is why Amazon have become the massive company they are now, because they look after their customers. They generally do. yeah, they might treat their work force maybe not the best. I don't know the full ins and outs of that, but essentially for me as an end user, I'm loving it. Ultra Game World says overclockers are good, they just charge a bit much. Amazon are still the best bet at the moment. Just have to find the items in stock and then be quick to purchase. Yeah, that's definitely right. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. It's a difficult situation. I understand CCL are a business and they're trying to make money and they're trying to like balance all these different things like furloughed staff and health and safety and all those kinds of things. I totally get it. I genuinely do. But all it takes is an email or a phone call or just a refund. That's all I wanted. It's not rocket science. They've got the goods. They've checked it. They've confirmed it's okay. Just give me my damn money so I can go and buy something else. So good. Carlsberg. If Carlsberg did live streams, they'd probably be the best live streams in the world.
Carlsberg in CCL.
King of Kife says, I will say though, I cancelled 2 orders from CCL before they arrived, and they did eventually refund me. I'm hoping that's the case. Yeah, I think that's it. Kenneth Dyke says, hi everybody. Lee133 says, scan.
Supernova Wolf, did you answer his question about a dust cover?
Supernova Wolf, dust covers. Yes, Supernova Wolf. If you want to put a dust filter in, you can buy them. Go on Amazon. Hey, Amazon. Go onto Amazon and just type in PC dust filter. There's loads of different sizes, shapes. You can get magnetic ones, you get nylon-based ones, whatever. There's loads and loads of shapes and sizes. Ultimately, if there's not one that is the exact size you need, you can get an oversized one, peel off the magnetic bits around the outside edge, cut it to shape, put the magnets back on, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. Or just man up and just go full blast, no filters, and just be prepared to vacuum it out every now and then. Ricardo says, if before customer service in most enterprises were awful, now with this crisis, they've become the worst. Yeah. King and Clive says, we need a UK Newegg or something. Yeah, we definitely do. Newegg would be great over in the UK. You can actually get stuff from Newegg, but it's like horrendous import charges and postage. Kenneth Dyke says, I'm having issues with Scan myself. Sorry to hear that. Nugent says, scan and overclockers are okay, just a little bit on the expensive side. King and Clive says, Amazon literally let you press 2 buttons and boom, refund done. It is, it's just so easy. And quite often they'll send you back the refund and just say, oh yeah, there's the money back in your account, happy days, love you long time. Here's your returns label, just try and get it back to us within 28 days, please. It's like, how cool is that? So then you can buy whatever it is you need to replace it, and then eventually when you're allowed out of the house after lockdown, you can just toddle on down to your local post office. There you go.
Doubled that though, didn't they, for lockdown?
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, I think in lockdown they said, actually there was something I was supposed to send back in lockdown. I forgot all about it.
No, we did. I sent it back.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Can't remember what it was now. But yeah,
that was a motherboard.
Yeah, that was a motherboard, and they gave us like 90 days to return it. They said, oh yeah. This was back in March, I think, the end of March. And they said, yeah, just make sure you get it back to us before June. It's like, okay, there's your money back. What was that? That was the fans I bought by mistake, wasn't it? The Up Here fans that I bought, which were...
I thought it was motherboard in that one you had.
It might have been. It might have been. Yeah, let's hear it in the chat for Amazon customer service. I love Amazon. I hate them at the same time as well because they make me spend money. But it's all good. ClickTech Kev says, beer it is, just popping to get a Galahad. Get in. Lee133 says, eventually Amazon will put all the smaller companies out of business, then they will raise their prices. To some extent, They have to some extent. Some of Amazon stuff is quite expensive for what it is, but you do get the reliability and the guarantees and all that kind of blah blah blah. So you can understand that. But also there is the Monopolies Commission, both in the Americas and also in the UK. So if a company gets to that point, they will break it up into smaller companies to stop them from doing that, or they will make it so that they can't destroy other companies to gain unfair advantage. If you look into the Monopolies Commission, it's quite a deep, massive thing. And they did it to Microsoft back in the early 2000s, I think it was, because of the antitrust stuff and because they were getting so big. So it can happen, and it does get to a point where governments and agencies will kind of rein it in and say, well, hang on, come on, things are getting a bit silly now. Japan1 says, I spent around £3,000 with them this year. Had a damaged case and an ASRock B450 with a faulty audio. Both were replaced quickly. Not the fastest postage, but good service from me. That's the sort of thing I want to hear. It gives me encouragement that they're going to sort this out. It genuinely does. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on CCL. I'm genuinely not. I'm frustrated, ultimately. That's what it comes down to. I am frustrated in the way that I've been treated. Hopefully, they can rectify it and I'll get my money back. Hey, even if they give me an apology, that would be awesome. But ultimately, as long as I get the money back, I'm totally cool with that. The GameMax case, I'll live with it. It's not the end of the world, and I'm still fantastically happy with the F15 case. So if I have to go and buy another fan or whatever a case may be, pun intended, I'll just do it, because I understand these things happen. But when things like mount up and there's more and more things going wrong, you get to the point where it's like, actually, no, screw you. I'm going to send that back. I want a refund on that. Yeah, screw you. You're not having any more business. Up yours. Sky Stalker says, honestly, I will buy from Amazon Prime as a preferred vendor. They have never given me an issue. Newegg is a thing in North America. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll go there. Yeah, I'm true. That's what it's all about. Customer service is what you go back for. Literally, before I came onto this stream tonight, today I did mention that David brought round the cookies and a monitor that he donated to us, which is awesome. And I needed an adapter for it, which is because it's only got DVI on that monitor and VGA, and I've got HDMI on here. So I wanted a DVI male to HDMI female adapter. So I went, as I was upstairs, on Amazon, found it, £6, fantastic, swipe to order, done. It'll turn up tomorrow. If it's the wrong thing, chances are they won't even ask for it back and they'll just refund me. It's just insane how good Amazon have become.
Along with your socks.
I didn't order the socks.
I ordered the socks.
Oh, Cap's ordered some socks as well, some sports socks. They'll be here tomorrow as well, so we will be definitely reviewing those in the upcoming episode. Oh dear. Tadanoman, I probably said that wrong. Never really bought PC components from Amazon. We'll start to now though. Bought from CCL for years as I live next door. Won't use them for a while just in case. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they're in trouble or whatever. I'm just saying that personally, me as an individual, they've given me a bit of a rough deal. There may be reasons behind it. I don't know what they are, but there's maybe reasons behind it. So please don't abandon them, or what's the word I'm looking for? Don't
hold a grudge.
Yeah, don't hold a grudge. As far as I know, they're fine, and a lot of people still having totally brilliant experiences with them. So yeah, please don't do anything based on what I'm saying. I'm just experienced issues, and I'm just relating to you because I'm pissed. I really am. It's annoying. ClickTech says, bring back jungle.com. Oh, yeah, jungle.com. That was a sub-company of, what was it called? Software Warehouse. Remember them?
It says Curry's customer service is absolutely crap.
Yeah, I'd imagine Curry's customer service to be absolutely rubbish. Richard Hobson says, Amazon driver has our address pre-programmed. Prime rocks. Yes. And Richard, don't forget, if you're buying things on Amazon Prime, don't forget to use our affiliate links in the description below. Glenn says, need to duck out now, folks. Le Mans practice. Good night, all. Good luck, Glenn. Go steady out there. Supernova Wolf says, imagine life without Amazon. Yeah, without Amazon, things would be very different. Matthew Day says, I miss Maplin. Yeah, I do. But I never really used them. But it was nice to know that they were there if I did. Very rarely do we use Maplin. I think the last time I used Maplin was they had a deal on for the the home devices that start with a G.
I can't see it because of your cut.
Oh yeah, you can't see it, yeah. My Google device. Yeah, they had a set of 3, I think, wasn't it, for £100, was it? Yeah, £99 for 3, wasn't it?
Was it 3 or 2?
Yeah, it's like they're $49.99, buy 2, get 1 free. So you had 3, or was it 2? Yeah, I don't remember now.
We did a giveaway, didn't we, for the other one?
Yeah, it must have been 3. Yeah, it must have been 3. Yeah, three of those devices for £100. Brilliant. But I never went back. That was it. That was the last thing I bought. Lee says boycott is the word. Yes, don't boycott CCL. Please don't do that. Ultimately, if they're struggling, they need our support, if anything. Just hope that your experience is better than mine. Talaman says, yeah, Mike, but to get money in these strange times, you would think they'd open up the counter. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I work retail as well. I do this YouTube thing. This is pretty much my full-time gig, but also to help out in our local community. There's a car spares shop that I work in, and we're the same. It's like a small place, so literally the front doors are open, there's a shield across the front, and we're just serving people, grabbing stuff from the stock room in the shop, and saying, is this the one you wanted? And they're like, no. Have you got an 8mm? Like, oh shit, yeah, okay. Run back, get another one. Oh no, maybe a 7mm. You get the idea. But we're doing what we can to try and help people locally in the community, and also keep the shop running, all that kind of stuff. And if you really put your mind to it, you can help customers and help people and do things like that.
Staff, they don't mind queuing.
Yeah. It's yeah. People are queuing down the street. They understand. Anyway. ClickTech Kev says, I bought my first RAM upgrade from Software Warehouse. Yeah, most of my stuff came from Software Warehouse or the computer fair. Jai G Joe. I've pronounced that wrong again, haven't I? Joe G, that's the one. Joe G says, do you keep PC parts boxes? Yes. Every single one, pretty much. Just in case it's got to be sent back. With Amazon, it's not too bad, because generally you can send it back in a carrier bag if you want to, and they don't really care. But for some companies, again, like CCL and stuff like that, you have to send back exactly as it came.
And like Kenneth does.
Yeah. King of Kife says, by the way, anyone utilise the top secret couriers clearance method? Managed to nab a TX 650M condition, open, unused for 67 quid. Bargain. Awesome. Yeah, in the current PS, although that's a Corsair TX. I know, it's the small ones that are the problem, isn't it? Not the big ones, that's fine. Okay, I think that pretty much wraps. I think, what we're going to do?
You have done videos
Oh yeah,
this week.
I am. Yeah, that's true. I haven't said about it. Right, let's have a quick recap of the videos that we've done this week. So we did the Acer BIOS update, which is this bad boy, which actually seems to be running a lot nicer and a lot cooler and a lot quieter. And I just noticed today they've just released the Acer A515-44, which is the next model of this. They've upgraded the processor from a 3500U to a 4500U. So that's gone from 4 cores, 8 threads to 6 cores, 12 threads. And they've upgraded the SSD or NVMe drive from 512 to a terabyte. Same IPS screens, same 15.4 monitor. 650 quid, but you can get it for 550, which, bearing in mind I bought that for 400, that's not a bad upgrade, especially in COVID time. So yeah, keep an eye out for that on Hot UK Deals. So, itchy nose. So we did the Vankyo Alpha X200 earbuds, which were a little bit quiet, but sounded amazing. The Stop Windows Nagware. Who's had it? Have you had that on your PC, the Windows Nagware, where it says to sign up to services or to join your Android phone to your PC? Oh my God, can't stick that. So showed you a way to get rid of that. Hopefully it's been useful. Did the review on the Ions KZ10 mesh case, which hopefully, fingers crossed and Amazon willing, we'll be doing the live stream tomorrow evening.
With your new socks on.
With my new socks on and with my new HDMI port and all that stuff. Yeah, that's going to be useful for that. Yeah, so we'll be doing all that in hopefully a stream tomorrow night. So don't forget, if you haven't done it already, well actually if you haven't done it already, click on the like button, do that one first. Then click on subscribe if you haven't already. And then on subscribe, you get the little options, so click on all notifications. And then every single day, you'll be really annoyed at 6 AM every morning when I release a video. Well, 6 AM, so that is, I'm not even sure what time that is in the US. It's probably like 10 PM in the evening, maybe. I don't know. I don't understand. But anyway, do that and you'll find out if I do the stream tomorrow night or not. Did the Acer RAM upgrade? So again, more featured around this thing. I do love this laptop, I genuinely do. I know when people do reviews of stuff, and a lot of you, probably like me, you watch someone reviewing something and you're like, yeah, he's been paid for that. And you just kind of like, you skirt over the kind of the whole experience and you just look at the facts. But genuinely, the Acer Aspire 5 has been brilliant. It genuinely has been brilliant. It's been fantastic for these streams. It works really well. And actually today I've used it almost entirely all today. The only time I didn't use it is because I needed to do the thumbnail for tonight's live stream and my Photoshop isn't installed on here yet. So I went over to my main PC, but other than that, all the questions and comments and stuff I've been answering today, all been on this. All the Discord chat has been done on this. My research and stuff, all been done on this. It's been cool, absolutely cool. So yeah, if you're looking for a laptop, a reliable laptop, which is really good and pretty cost effective, the Acer Aspire 5 range, can't fault them, really can't. Oh, and also the Silicon Power, the mini SSD, which I'll just grab down here. So this little bad boy, what a tiny little drive that is. Portable, 1 terabyte, well, almost 1 terabyte. It's 960 gigabytes, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a terabyte. But that portable little drive, that is absolutely brilliant. It genuinely is. I'm not sure if it's worth $100, which is what I think the estimated price is, but it's a very much a niche market, whether or not you need one of these or not. If you're used to using larger USB drives, but you get frustrated by the lack of speed, where they start off at like 100 megabits per second because of USB 3, and then they start slowing down, maybe this might be an idea. But for larger files, for transferring video files, yeah, brilliant, absolutely excellent, and very, very quick. Anyway, very, very enjoyable. So, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah, answer all the questions. Yeah, it's been a pretty successful night, and actually I do feel my shoulders and my neck all feel a little bit more relaxed now that I've got that off my chest about CCL. So definitely keep checking in, see how it goes, and I will, if I get any updates from either CCL, their email department, whether I get a phone call or if anyone just reaches out to me and says this is what's going on, or even if I get a refund, I will keep you updated. So this isn't going to be one of those like one-shot deals where I just slate someone or have a go at someone and then don't come back with a sort of a validation or some sort of answer. Hopefully it's a good one. So there we go, that has been tonight's stream. Join us hopefully tomorrow for the stream and the build in the Ions case, and we'll be making a right mess and hopefully having more beers. Again, thanks to all of you that have subscribed to the channel over the years, and yeah, 30k, who would have ever thought it? Mental, absolutely mental. Thanks again for the super chats and all that stuff, and thank you for all taking part in the chat and the comments tonight. I wish I could thank every single one of you individually, but it would take far too long, and you've probably got other things to do. So I'll say good night. Kath says good night. Thanks for the super chats, and hopefully we'll see you all guys in the live stream tomorrow. Thanks for watching.